Hi, Darin Mangum here, the PPM attorney. Today I wanted to talk about the one clause or the one thing that if you put it in your private placement memorandum, it could potentially sink your ship. And what is that one thing? Well, that one thing is your website address. If you put your website address in your PPM or your private placement memorandum, you have to be aware that whatever material or information, even if it's even if it's sales material, even if it's promotional material, any sort of information that's on your website, if you put a link in your private placement memorandum to that website, um, everything that's on your website is automatically incorporated into your PPM. Now, why would that be a bad thing? I mean, potentially is okay, right? Because sometimes, if in fact all of the information that is on your website is consistent with what is in the private placement memorandum, then you're fine. Um, on the other hand, a lot of times websites are not written for the audience of investors. They're written for, say, sales. They're written for customers, and so sometimes, your marketing team, whoever's in charge of, or your website design team, they're obviously trying to put you in front of your customers in the best possible light. And obviously, maybe the information is true, but it may be overblown. You may be trumpeting your horn a little, maybe too much on your website. You may be making claims. I mean, obviously, hopefully their website is true. Nobody wants to put out a misleading or a website. But if you're making claims on your website, like, hey, we're rated number one in customer satisfaction, or we're the best, company on the planet, or whatever it happens to be, and that's all on your website. And if you have your website link or your web address in the PPM, then anything that's on the website is automatically incorporated. And so I've seen cases where they make some pretty for marketing purposes. They market themselves as we're the best in this field. We're like number one, and all these claims, right, on their website, and inadvertently, because they put their website address in their PPM, all that gets sucked into the PPM by default, right? And so, you're a securities attorney or whoever's writing your PPM. Hopefully, it's a securities attorney that's drafting your PPM. You don't want a non-security, somebody that's not a securities attorney doing your PPM. But your securities attorney goes through great lengths to making sure that private placement memorandum is there to protect you, and that the information there is fair and accurate, and full disclosure and all the rest of it. And so what you don't want is for your private placement memorandum to inadvertently incorporate a bunch of puffery or outlandish claims, or things that maybe that you didn't write, or your marketing, obviously your security attorney didn't write it, but it gets all incorporated by reference if in fact that you put that website link on your PPM. So now it's okay to put your email address on there or your phone number. Obviously, you're going to have the business name, your phone number, and your email address, but you don't want to put your website on there because, again, anything that's on the website gets incorporated in. I've got a few other videos that talk about websites in general, but anyway, you just be very, very careful and mindful that you don't have that website on your private place memorandum. Or if you do, you got to make sure that is there anything on the website that may be contradictory to the PPM, or that may be false or misleading, because again, that could certainly be it would be a shame to put all that hard work and expense and time into the private placement memorandum, which is it was just really meant to protect you, and then you have this little chink in your armor called your website that maybe incorporates things you don't want to. So anyway, just something to keep in mind as you go forward, making sure all of your ducks are in a row. Anyway, I'm happy to again look at look at your website, obviously review your private placement memorandum, or certainly draft your private placement memorandum. Feel free to give me a call. 801-787-9072 is my cell, and I'd love to chat with you about it. Thanks for watching.